everybody. Welcome to this episode of CarnivorousGrama Speaks. I'm super excited to be here with you guys tonight. I could not let this weekend pass me by without coming on to talk about my 2-year Carniversary. So yesterday was 2 years on carnivore, and I'm super excited and I'm thankful and grateful and blessed to have found this amazing way of eating. So I wanted to come on tonight, just celebrate a little bit and chat with you guys about, kind of give a recap, talk about what has happened over the last 2 years. I can hardly believe that it has been 2 years of eating with just meat only. Like, who does that? Who does that? Yeah. So, 2 years ago yesterday, I decided to go ahead and jump off the cliff and try the carnivore diet after following Dr. Ken Berry, who is a family physician, and he was on keto, and I watched him go from keto to carnivore, and he was absolutely thriving, and that was so incredible to me. When I saw him do that, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. And so I started on February 22nd, 2023, and I have never turned back. Not to say that I haven't had a couple of vegetables over that course of time. I've tried a few. Early on, I tried some broccoli, I tried some cauliflower, and I found that those didn't really agree with my system. And then that same year, I did try like cabbage. I tried onions, and they didn't really bother me, but I really literally have just decided not to reincorporate vegetables into my diet. So I am eating a pretty much meat-based way of eating. I still use a little bit of spices. So I use the Redmond's Real Salt seasoned salt, which does have some plant matter in it. And then also sometimes I'll use a little bit of garlic powder. But for the most part, I'm eating just meat, and I'm feeling great, and I feel happy about it. And we're going to talk about all the benefits and the amazing things that have happened over the course of time. So welcome, everybody. Why don't you go ahead and hit that like button and share this video. And of course, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you become a part of my CarnivorousGrama community. I try to put out content for you guys that is interesting and fun. And then I also try to do things like interviews. I have a Women of Wisdom series that is where I interview the ladies. And then I have an interviews with the doctors segment that is something that I like to interview a lot of health professionals and practitioners. So that's the interviews with the docs. And then, of course, I do some walk and talks, I do cooking and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoy the content on this channel. And if you're not subscribed, I would love to have you as a subscriber. So tonight I want to talk about my Carniversary. Where did I start from? And hello to everybody that is in the chat. I will definitely be bringing those up in a little bit. But I wanted to kind of take a look at where I was. And this was the image that you guys saw in the thumbnail of this video. So I'm going to just show this. So this is me in February of 2023 on the left-hand side. As you can see, I was quite fluffy. I was quite fluffy on that day. And then this other picture on the right-hand side, that is me this weekend. I will tell you guys that I have lost about 25 pounds total on the carnivore way of eating. So I have done so much experimentation. I'm a person who loves to do challenges and like challenge myself to do different things. And so I've done a lot of different things. And I've gone up and down as far as my weight is concerned. So I still have a few pounds that I want to lose, but I would say that, over the course of 2 years, I have lost 25 pounds, almost 25 pounds. And it's been fluctuating up and down. So I've done a lot of different things over the course of time. I've done some lean days. I've done some protein sparing modified fasting. I've done the stick of butter a day challenge, which I did for 2 months. Stick of butter a day does not agree with me. It is too much. It's too much dairy, I think. And so I ended up gaining 10 pounds on the stick of butter a day challenge. And I literally have just gotten that off. And so we'll talk a little bit about how I actually was able to find my weight loss mode and and how that happened. So, I was about around 172, 173 pounds when I first started. I didn't weigh myself. I purposely did not weigh myself. And I did not take a picture or do any measurements. This is so crazy, you guys. If you're getting started, if you're just getting started, make sure you take a picture at least of where you're starting from. So on the day that I started, I was like, you know what? I'm not going on another diet. I'm going to go ahead and try this for 30 days, for 90 days. I knew I would do 90 days. And I'm not even going to bother with taking a picture or weighing myself. So I didn't. And I regret that now because I would love to know exactly what it was on that day. But right around that time that picture was taken. I also knew that I would start a YouTube channel when I started Carnivore. But I thought it would just be a cooking channel, that I would just be cooking and eating and, doing all that kind of a thing. So it definitely has taken a turn as we have gone along as far as what my channel is becoming. And it's definitely it's continuing to evolve and become what it's going to be. So I'm pretty excited about that. I want to appreciate everybody that is part of my CarnivorousGrama community. All of my subscribers, all of the folks who have clicked the join button to become a member and have supported this channel, all of the people who are in my Hey Sister Girl Facebook group. And so I just really, really appreciate each and every person that even takes time to look a moment at my content and spend time with me. So I just really, really appreciate the community. It really does help me to have a community of support. And so when I see you guys' comments in the on the videos and so much support, and then, people need support also. So when you have questions and when you put those questions out there for me in my comments, I really, really appreciate it. So just appreciation for everybody for being here. I have been maintaining this YouTube channel for probably a year and a half now. And I intend to keep going on and see what the end's going to be. So why did I start Carnivore? So there was a few reasons. The first one being that I thought I would lose weight. I thought I would lose weight, but then I also was hearing about these amazing results that people were having around health results. And so I did not know what to expect, but Dr. Berry had videos. He was pumping out videos like a maniac, talking about, will carnivore help with, IBS? Will carnivore help with every different ailment that you can think of? Will it help with high blood pressure? Will it help with MS? Will it help with this and with that? And so I was watching all of those videos and I was very intrigued by the idea that healing through food could happen. And so basically I wondered what kind of healing could I get in my body, basically through healing, through eating. So I knew that food heals. And I knew that the body is able to heal itself. It's so amazing what the body can do given the right fuel. Because I had hypertension a few years back. I started having these headaches and I was like, let me go back on keto. Let me get on keto to try to reduce my blood pressure. So I knew that keto was that I could reduce my blood pressure on keto. And I actually went on medication for hypertension and then I went off of it immediately because I was like, I'm not going to take medicine for something that I can do with food. So I knew that healing could happen, but I had no idea the limits or the extent of what kind of healing could take place. The immediate thing that I noticed, that I would say that the thing that happened the fastest was that my eczema cleared up. So I'm going to show some pictures of what my eczema looked like, on my face in particular. So this is like different views of my eczema over time. I mean, I would have it in different areas, but this look down here at the bottom where I have this dark circle around my mouth and dark circles around both eyes, this was a constant look for me. I mean, that's how my face looked all the time. And then I would have patchy, like you see my ears swelled up one day, my chin was flaky, I had this other eczema on the side of my face. I would have various different, eczema breakouts on my face. Within 30 days, this eczema around my mouth and around the two black eyes went away. And I could not believe it. Excuse me. I could not believe it because I've had eczema since I was born. Literally have had eczema since I was born. I was the little baby that had the mittens on the hands because I would be scratching myself. I was the little baby that had the eczema all over the body. I just was a suffering little baby. And I continued to grow up to be a suffering young adult and a suffering grown woman with eczema. And I would cover it up with makeup. I found concealer, which was like the holy grail. I would cover it up with concealer. I would cover it up with, foundations and stuff like that. Tonight, I do not have on makeup because I wanted you guys to see that my skin is clear. I do not have that eczema around the eyes and around the mouth. Now, if I eat the wrong stuff, and I'll tell you what happened to me this weekend. If I eat the wrong stuff, it will flare up. So right now I'm in the midst of an eczema flare. And but first, before I talk about that, I'm going to show you this other one because this was the other thing that was really bad. This is dyshydrotic eczema. And what it does is it blisters up. It's like your skin boils up from inside out. And so it will boil up from inside of you and these blisters will show up. And then, the blisters will pop open. You'll have all this cracking and then flaking and drying. And it goes through a whole cycle. And basically what happened to me was when I had that really bad, my whole hands just peeled off to the point where my finger prints were muted when I went to try to go have fingerprints done at I was going to travel out of the country and I had to have my fingerprints done and I didn't really have any. And that came from dyshydrotic eczema. And so that is the one that I feel that flares up the most if I get the wrong thing. So this weekend, Friday night, my husband and I went to a restaurant called Chili's. I don't know if you guys know about Chili's. And I went there and I ordered a hamburger. I ordered a cheeseburger, double cheeseburger with bacon, and it was supposed to have ranch dressing and some other stuff on it. And I took everything off, and I just wanted the cheeseburger with the bacon. Well, if you guys know what's going on with me, I'm struggling with the cheese. So I ended up telling them, just take the cheese off. Just give me the 2 burger patties and 6 slices of bacon. So after eating that, and I'm wearing a CGM right now because I kind of wanted to see how my data looks as far as my blood glucose. It's really, really steady. So I'm going to get some fasting insulin drawn in April when I go for my labs, but it's really steady. But after I ate that burger at Chili's, I had a blood glucose spike. And it went up from like 90 to like 139. So that was a huge spike. And my CGM, which has never said anything since I put it on, I've had it on for almost a month now. It's never said anything the entire time. And it started vibrating. My phone started getting an alert. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And it was this blood glucose spike that came from this burger I had at Chili's. The burger didn't have anything on it. It tasted super bland. I ended up having to put my own salt on it. It didn't taste like it had anything on it. It was very, very bland. But there's definitely something in it that caused my glucose to spike. My blood glucose stayed up higher than normal for at least, I want to say at least 12 hours. Before it kind of went back down to its normal range. And what happened was the next day, my eyelids were itching. Like I could feel the itchiness on my eyelids. And then also I could feel that blistering coming up in my hands and on my fingers. So it's kind of right now, it's a little bit flared up. You can see it a little bit. It's kind of a little bit red. You can see that. Those are like, that's blisters. It's in the drying phase, so it's actually kind of it's trying to process out. But sometimes during the course of the carnivore way of eating that I've been doing for the last 2 years, when I eat out or eat certain things, it will cause these eczema flares. So I have some videos about it, like eczema flare. Oh my God, I ate this and it caused an eczema flare. Or I had, there was something called chomps, these beef sticks, chomps, beef sticks. I can't eat that. It's a really clean beef stick and a lot of people eat it because it's clean. But as it turns out that's something that I cannot eat. So eczema was a really big thing for me. I mean, it was the thing that most people could see it. Even though they probably, like my kids were saying, when I show them the pictures now, they're like, I can't believe you looked like that. But I did. I looked like that all the time. And I basically just dealt with it. So those two types of eczema were the main ones. That was like your standard atopic dermatitis, contact dermatitis type of a thing. So like in the springtime when the trees and the grasses and everything does its thing, when that stuff, pollen gets on my skin, it also causes a reaction, an eczema flare. It can cause an eczema flare. But that eczema, the eczema, the way that I'm dealing with it now, it's on a case by case basis because, you know, I would not have expected a burger patty to do that. But somebody's saying out here, I don't go out to eat anymore because of too many problems. I totally agree. I'm like, I need to eat at home where I know what's in my food. I know exactly what's on it and whether I can have it or not. And so, so that's a thing. I mean, I do enjoy eating out. It's just my husband and I, so it's convenient for me sometimes to go out to eat. But the last few times I've been out, I've been like, I am not interested in eating this food out and suffering the consequences. And I'm finding out that I can't really have cheese very often, particularly mozzarella cheese. And if you guys know me, you know that I love pizza. I eat the pizza toppings all the time. I see G. Hey G, I see you in the thing talking about no cheese. But I do want to say that IBS was another issue that I had. I had constipation. So I think that I had constipation when I was a kid. I was just thinking about this earlier, like, did I struggle with that as a child? And I feel like I did. But I definitely had it all my adult life, and I had no idea that it was the food that was causing it. And so I had this constipation often. So very, very often I would have constipation and be stuck in the bathroom, be in the bathroom crying. I don't know if you've ever dealt with constipation, but you can sit in the bathroom for hours, literally trying to go to the bathroom. It's very, very painful, very uncomfortable, and it's just not a nice thing. And so the food was what was causing that. So the chomps that I just mentioned, when I eat that, it gives me constipation. If I eat that today, tomorrow I'll be constipated. So there's a few things that I've noticed like that with some of the processed meats. Um, and like smoked sausages and stuff like that, that there's something in there that causes that I don't know, dries out my colon, I guess, and makes my stools more firmer. Let me put it that way. Makes me have constipation. And so, but we recently found this smoked sausage that G introduced me to. It's called Koilbasa. I'm going to put the name of it in the chat. Koilbasa. Very clean smoked sausage and so delicious. And the texture is nice. So if you know, like when you eat some of those Eckrich or those other types of smoked sausages, it's like they blend the meat and then stuff it in the casing. So it's real soft and just not the texture of it is weird. But these are like real meat. They're so, so good. So if you are interested in something like that, you can check it out. I found them at Costco and Sam's Club, and they're really, really, really good. But the IBS was a problem for me. And so I had, when I started carnivore, I had diarrhea for 30 days. And I'm so thankful that I knew that I would do 90 days on carnivore. I was not going to stop at 30 days because if I would have stopped at 30 days, I would have never experienced the benefits that I achieved. So on day 31, I had my first normal bowel movement that I feel like of my adult life. Like, what? This is amazing. Like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be, right? And so, IBS is another big one that is caused by food. And so if you're eating a lot of fiber and you have constipation, you need to cut that fiber out because that's probably what's causing it. And then another thing was that I had sleep apnea. I didn't have a terrible, terrible case of sleep apnea, but I would stop breathing when I was asleep and I snored a lot. I snored like a machine, y'all. I would wake myself up snoring like, oh, what was that? What was that? Oh my gosh. Yes, I would wake my own self up snoring. And so the sleep apnea is so low now that I don't even need to wear the machine. The last time I wore it, it said I had zero point 0.8 episodes per hour. So less than one episode per hour. And that's pretty awesome, actually, for me. So I'm not using it really anymore, unless, so the other night when I ate that burger and had that spike, I'm like, okay, I need to wear my CPAP because of the inflammation. And what happened was when I woke up, I was like 3 pounds heavier. So I knew that I would have inflammation after I had that blood glucose spike. And and then I woke up and my hands were eczema is an inflammatory process. And so I knew that I would have inflammation when I saw that blood sugar spike. So I went ahead and wore my CPAP that night. So, but for the most part, I'm really not wearing the CPAP anymore. And yeah, I'm thankful for that. I know my husband is probably thankful too because because I used to be cutting them back. I used to cut saw logs. I used to cut Z's. I used to do all those things at nighttime. One other thing that I want to mention is that I had iron deficiency anemia. And so, when you go to give blood, if you're anemic, you cannot give blood. And so many times I would go and try to give blood and I would not be able to give blood because I was anemic. And they wanted to put me on pills for this, iron pills. And I didn't want to take iron pills because iron pills make you constipated. And I'm like, I'm already having enough problems. I don't need to take iron pills and pile on top of it. So I wouldn't take it. And I was anemic and I was always, always, always cold, freezing, freezing cold. And today I'm just not having that problem. Last time I went and had my labs drawn, I was no longer anemic. Now, I didn't even realize that anemia was something that could be addressed or that could go away. I had no idea. I knew, like, if you want to get your hemoglobin up, then you would go ahead and eat some peanut butter, you eat some liver, whatever it is before you go and give blood. But I didn't know that was that it was treatable, that I did not have to be anemic. I did not have to be freezing cold and all that kind of thing. And so that's something that went away. Something that is kind of fun that went away was my dandruff. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but when I used to scratch my head, I would have all this snow falling down out of my scalp. And I just don't have that anymore. I would scratch my thing and have to go wash my hands because I have all this dandruff underneath my fingernails. And so I don't have an issue with dandruff anymore. So, and there's so many things. Another thing is like anxiety. I am a very anxious person, have been all my life, very worried, very concerned, very just obsessive about things, continuously obsessing and like mulling things over all the time, thinking about, worrying about things. And I just don't have that anymore. Um, I don't have the food obsession that I had before, which was like constantly talking about food, like talking about what am I going to cook and what did you eat? What did you eat yesterday? What are you planning on eating tomorrow? And all of those kinds of things, because I'm just not obsessed with food. In fact, when I hear people talking about food, sometimes I'm like, oh boy, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm like, we don't need to talk about it. I don't care what you ate. Really don't. So that's probably rude. But anyway, I just don't care that much about it, and I don't want to obsess over food anymore. I've done that for my whole life, and I'm not willing to do that anymore. I don't want to be on a diet. I'm no longer on a diet, like, going on a crash diet to try to lose weight. I'm no longer concerned with doing that. And so I see a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of people on YouTube, they're starting the carnivore diet, on TikTok even. They're talking about starting, and they're talking about, somebody said, I only lost 12 pounds in 1 month. What? That's amazing. Who loses 12 pounds in a month? That's crazy. Like, that's like crash diet type of a thing. You are losing a lot of weight if you lost 12 pounds in a month. But carnivore is not about that. Carnivore is about the amazing health benefits. And so if you really want to see, like, what can food do, if you're taking a lot of medications for different problems, different issues, maybe you don't need to be on all that medicine. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my daughter today, and she was saying, I have migraines and and my doctor wants me to go on Botox. And I said, well, you could do that if that's your last resort, but have you thought about carnivore? Because carnivore can help with migraines. Carnivore can help with MS. Carnivore can help with all the anything that's autoimmune, like lupus. There's so many of them. I can't even go down the whole list of them, of issues that carnivore can help with. And if you're on a box of medicine, I think about Carrie Mann from Homestead How, the Healing Humanity guy, and that big old box of medicines that he shows. If you're on a box of medicine, try carnivore. What could it hurt? Seriously, could it hurt to try it for 30, 60, 90 days? I doubt it very seriously. And you may find out that it is a game changer like I did. All right. So I want to just say hello to all of you guys. Let me pop up some of these. So Shayla's here. Hey, Shayla. Thank you for being here. Nana BC. Thank you, Nana. I appreciate you. Erica Carroll is here from Mexia. Mexia? I never even heard of Mexia. From Mexia, Texas. Thank you so much, Erica. I appreciate you. Simpson is here. Hey, Simpson. I have not rode my Peloton in a while. I need to get on there and ride. So I'm going to have to do that this week. And then Country Girl is here. Calpurnia, tell me if I'm saying that correct. Blue Sky Wanderer. Hey, Blue Sky Wanderer. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Congratulations. And then, so happy for your journey, encouraging. Did some challenges with you. That's awesome. So the challenges that I'm doing right now are have to do with walking. And so we're doing a 14,400 steps a day challenge on an app called Challenges. And so if you're interested in that, drop a comment down there in the comments and I would be happy to share the link with you. We're getting close to the end of the month, but we'll be starting another one up next month. And I can tell you what, the 14,400 steps a day has really shown me that I can be a mover. I don't have to be a sedentary person, which is what I've been for so many years, just a sedentary work from home. I stand at the desk. Usually in the morning, I'll stand for a couple of hours because I've been laying down all night. But 14,400 steps takes me an hour and a half of walking a day. And that is serious business. So yeah, if you guys want to join that challenge, let me know. Hey, Jay, so glad that you are here. And then we have Kat Diamond. Hey, Kat Diamond. I'm at 2.5 years, lost 60 in 18 months, then just stopped and started gaining. I still have 40 to lose, and I'm so frustrated. So, Kat Diamond and anybody else that is frustrated with your weight loss, I really want to say, and I got this from Denitra. So, if you guys watch the Hey Sister Girl show, Denitra's on there and she is a metabolic health practitioner. And she says you have to find your formula. So we're going to talk tonight about how I've been able to find my formula that is allowing me to lose some weight at this point. And so we'll talk about that. I'm going to just write that down so I make sure that we talk about that. So there is a formula that will allow your body to release the inflammation and the weight that you are carrying. And it's up to you to try to figure out what that is. Sandra. Hey, Sandra. Long time no see. Thank you for the happy Carniversary. I'm so happy to see you here. I know that you're not always, watching YouTube. So I'm super, super happy that you're here with me tonight. And then Jade says my psoriasis cleared up on carnivore. Similar type of thing. Yeah. So psoriasis and eczema are probably like cousins, I would imagine. And so, yeah, it definitely is a game changer for those inflammatory skin conditions for sure. And then Charlie is here. Hey, Charlie, thank you for coming in. Thank you for the happy Carniversary. I see you guys saying hello to each other. And then, of course, we got G Brown here. Hey, G, thanks for being here. Sandra says that chomps are not clean. I don't eat those. I don't eat them either anymore, Sandra. I ate them once or twice. The first time I tried to eat it, it gave me constipation. I was like, I'm not going to be able to eat this because just no, thank you. No, thank you. Not going to do it. G wants me to run from the cheese. And I ordered my burger Friday night with cheese. I ordered a double cheeseburger and I sat there and she went away and, put my order in. She came back by the table and I said, can you please go back there and tell them to take the cheese off? Because cheese is causing my eczema to flare. So why would I do that to myself? I don't want to. No one thinks that it's the food. The FDA says it's good for us and eat it in moderation. So to me, the word moderation has just been a lie from the pit of hell all of my life. I'm not a moderator. And I've learned that over the course of my life that I'm just not a moderator. And so I know that there are people out there who can do moderation. I'm not that person. And so, If I'm gonna eat one potato chip, I want to eat a whole bag of potato chips. So I think I'm probably better at moderation because I'm not hungry on carnivore. So but I'm not a moderator, and we know that the FDA the food pyramid is upside down. And we should not be eating processed food. We should not be eating seed oils like canola oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil. All those seed oils are toxic motor oil, so they're not meant for human consumption. Let's see who else. Who else? So I see Sandra's here. Hey, Sandra. Sandra's listening from Panama. Thank you so much for coming in. And then I appreciate all the congratulations on my Carniversary. So find your formula. I want to talk about this because it literally has taken me almost 2 years to find my way to lose weight. I've done a lot of things over time, over the course of the time. So I did the Lion Diet. I did Lion Diet one time. I did not feel good. So that was about a year ago that I did the Lion Diet, pure Lion. And I did not feel good after 2 weeks on Lion. And I've been considering whether or not I need to try it again. But right now, I think I'm going to stick with what's working for me. I've also done Sea Lion. So Sea Lion, let me tell you what Lion Diet is first. So Lion Diet is going to be like ruminant meats only. It is going to be beef, lamb, goat, bison, ruminant meats only, salt and water. And that is a pure Lion diet. And so, like I said, I didn't really feel good on that. After 2 weeks, I kind of felt really bad, and I just broke it with some pork. So Sea Lion is the same as Lion, but you add seafood. So I did that a couple of times, and that works out really well for me, but it did not put me into weight loss mode. I will say that. Not really. But I did enjoy it, and I like that way of eating. So that can work. But I'm a person who likes a variety of meats. I like all the meats. I like chicken. I like pork. I had lamb chops today, and chicken and bacon. And so I like all the different meats. But what I think my problem is how on carnivore they will say, when I say they, I'm talking about probably Dr. Berry, will say, eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Well, it takes a lot of food to get me to feel comfortably stuffed. Like if I'm eating until I'm what I consider to be comfortably stuffed, I'm eating probably way too much food. Because I have basically damaged my stomach. I've stretched my stomach out from doing a whole bunch of diets. I forced my weight down. So I think I have a picture of me when I was bigger. Let me just see if I can find that. Um, Shoot, I don't think I have it over here. Darn. But I was bigger, but I never let myself go over 200 pounds. So if I got up to 199, I would go on a diet. And I did all the different diets, anything that I can think of to lose weight. And so I did, the medical weight loss. I did Weight Watchers. I did Atkins. I did keto. Keto worked really good for me. I did it for 5 years straight with before all of the keto treats came in. When keto treats came in, I think they were the downfall of many, actually, because it's processed food and it's just frankenfood, actually. So so I just would force my weight down through a variety of diets. And I was an expert dieter. Like I could diet with the best of them. If I need to lose weight to put on something, I'm going to definitely go on diet, and I would lose the weight, and then I would promptly gain the weight back. But I think that damaged my metabolism in a way that my hunger signals don't make sense. They are not accurate. They don't work properly. And so, so I can't trust myself to eat. Like I said, I'm not a moderator. I like to smash. I love to eat. I like to eat a lot of food. And basically, that's pretty much what it is. So I felt like for my formula, it really would include intermittent fasting. And so that I can reduce my overall consumption while not necessarily reducing, calories. I'm not counting calories or doing anything, any of that stuff. I don't know if you guys can hear my little dog over here making noise. He's looking out the window. Hold on a second. Somebody must be outside. So, but anyway, so I needed to incorporate intermittent fasting. And I did not enjoy lean days. So over the summer I did lean days and like protein sparing type of lean days. I did not enjoy that. And I feel like the carnivore way of eating can be super enjoyable and like satisfying, and you can feel good on it, feel happy with your way of eating and not feel that stressed out I need to be on a diet type of a feeling. I did not want to do that. So I incorporated intermittent fasting. At the beginning of January, I did a 3-day fast, spiritual fast. And then I continued on to incorporate daily fasting. So if you guys are looking at my videos lately, you'll see a lot of them have the fasting app in it. I'm showing you guys how many hours did I fast today before I broke my fast. Um, and that's really, really working for me. So the 10 pounds that I gained on a stick of butter a day, I finally got that 10 pounds off. And so now I feel like I'm in kind of a weight loss mode. So the intermittent fasting's helping. I have a short eating window in general. So sometimes it's a little longer, but I'm trying to keep my eating window like 4 hours or less. Sometimes I'll just have an OMAD, one meal, and then I'll just turn the fasting app back on. And then once I turn that fasting app back on, it's like, okay, I'm done eating for the day, for the most part. Sometimes one day I turn it back on. But if I turn that fasting app on and say I'm in my fasting window, well, then I'm not going to eat again until it's time to break the fast. And I'm not really dogmatic about it because there's a couple of days where I have not made it to my 16 or 18 or 20, 22, 24-hour planned fast. But what I'm saying is when I break the fast, I'm keeping the eating window short. So what I don't want is my insulin spiking, going up and down all day long. I just want to like have a steady insulin, and my glucose I can see is steady, but the insulin when you eat, of course your insulin is going to go up. And so I'm trying to keep that low as much as possible. And I really feel like keeping that insulin low as much as possible is contributing to the fact that I'm able to lose weight. Certainly, those 14,400 steps a day are probably helping because I was sedentary. I was not moving very much, particularly not now that it's cold and snowy. I'm not outside, walking. I'm not doing walk and talks outside. And so, doing that 14,000 steps in the house though is serious business. So yeah, so I definitely, think that the combination of intermittent fasting, short eating windows, I'm still eating whatever I want within that eating window. So I'm not counting any calories. I'm not really counting any macros or anything like that. I generally have about probably between 4 and 6 carbs a day because I do use a product called Keto Brains Nootropic, which is it has 4 carbs. So that's 4 of them. And then if I have eggs, that has a little bit of carbs in it. Coffee has a tiny bit of carbs, and I do have coffee. But one thing I'm not doing is I'm not adding any heavy cream. So heavy cream is like I cannot use heavy cream like that. If I start putting heavy cream in my coffee, 2, 3 days, my hands will start flaring up. So it just does not work for me. So no heavy cream, very little butter. I've kind of cut way back on the butter. And in fact, I was doing a lot of ghee in my coffee. So some of my older videos would have like a big old scoop of ghee in the coffee. I've kind of cut back on that. I did switch back to putting a little MCT oil in my coffee. Um, and so that does that, that's just plain pure fat. And that doesn't really cause any kind of, it really doesn't even break your fast, but you can call that a fat fast if you're doing fat during your fasting window. And so all of those things combined together seem to be a good formula for me for the moment for to be in weight loss mode. And so we'll continue to monitor it. I feel like over time things continue to shift and change, and like you continue to figure out your formula, continue to figure out the things that work for you. And maybe something that worked for you in the past doesn't work anymore and you need to shift it up. So back to the person who was saying like I'm not losing weight. You need to do some experimentation on your own self to see what is the formula that's going to work for you to allow you to release that inflammation and release the fat out of your cells. Certainly, if you know that you need to lose more weight, and then it could be possible that we know that our bodies need healing because we've been damaging ourselves. Sorry. We've been damaging ourselves with the food we've been eating for a long time. So, so the body on the inside, and I love what Denitra says, because she said, if you could turn yourself inside out and see what's going on inside the body, that's probably more important than what's going on the outside. As far as we know that meat heals. So if you're eating a primarily meat-based way of eating, meat heals. Hashtag meat heals. And so, just keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged because they're like maybe you want to watch somebody like Kelly Hogan if you haven't already started looking at her videos. She's an OG. She's been doing this for a long time. We've got Rick Charger Mopar, the 40-year carnivore. That's his tag, but he's been doing it for more than 40 years. He started carnivore as a teenager and, no health issues at all. So my goal is to be like, I don't want to be on medications. And so, I don't want to be on blood pressure medication or, any other kind of medication, to be honest. Even those allergy pills that I was taking every single day, twice a day, Benadryl every day, Benadryl every night. I don't want to be on those medications. So I was telling you guys about my daughter who said that she was thinking about trying Botox. And I said, look up the side effects. What are the side effects? We were on our way to church this morning, and she started reading the side effects, and we just started laughing like, okay, so she's like, okay, so I'm gonna have Bell's palsy if I take this Botox. I'm like, if you're able to do it without medication, through dietary measures, do that first. Try it first and see if you can do it that way before if you have a last resort and you have to take medication, certainly you should take medication. But if you can do something yourself, then try to do it yourself and, and stay off of the medications as much as possible. They have all these crazy side effects. So I talked a little bit about my first 30, 60, 90 days. At 90 days, I was feeling the carnivore zen. Like, oh my God, I feel so amazing. This is the best I have ever felt. Like I never felt this good at 90 days on carnivore. There's something magical about 90 days of carnivore, to be honest. I have not felt that way since then. To be honest, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth anyhow, because it's like no point in me telling you that you're going to feel amazing every single day when I know that I have not felt amazing every single day, right? So I felt my absolute best at 90 days. I felt that carnivore zen. I felt that calming of my racing thoughts. I started to experience the mental health benefits of the carnivore way of eating. So dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety, those kinds of things. And that I had this sense of impending doom. I just knew something terrible was going to happen all the time. And so I all of a sudden realized I no longer had that sense of impending doom. Like I wasn't afraid for people to call my phone or things like that. I would be able to send a phone message to voicemail without answering it, without freaking out and worrying that something has happened and somebody's been in a car accident. Just on and on and on. That took about 90 days on carnivore before I started to feel that amazing, amazing mental health benefit. One thing I noticed immediately, though, was the seasonal allergies. So I have been allergic to something every season all my life since I was a kid. I remember going on hay rides as a kid, and I was very, very allergic to hay, very allergic to horses, allergic to dogs, cats, cockroaches, everything. I'm allergic to everything. But when I went on carnivore in February, that spring, I did not have seasonal allergies. And I'm looking around going, wait a minute, isn't it spring? And I'm seeing people with their postnasal drip and their, itchy and runny eyes and stuff. And I'm like, wait, I'm not experiencing seasonal allergies. And I really have not had anything like the seasonal allergies that I used to have before carnivore since I started carnivore. So I take an allergy pill every once in a blue moon. I literally still have, I've got the giant size Costco bottle because I used to have to take allergy pills twice a day, every single day, and Benadryl. And I still have the same bottle that I got from Costco that I had in February of 2023. And so that's how much allergy medication that I have had to take. I've probably had to take maybe 10 pills over the course of this 2 years. It's been absolutely incredible. So yeah, so that was something that was completely unexpected. So, what about the social aspects? I just kind of want to touch on that because that can be a big challenge for people who are starting carnivore. I know that when I first started, so first of all, my family has seen me do all those diets over the years. They knew that I was a dieter and that I would do a diet in a heartbeat if I needed to. Um, and so I think they thought that carnivore would be like that. Like I would do that for a while and then I would stop. But it's so beneficial that I can't see any reason why I would stop and go back to eating the way that I ate before. Especially when I see all the sensitivities to food that I had. So I had allergy testing. I used to take allergy shots for years and years, and I wasn't allergic to any foods according to the allergist. But I am sensitive to so many foods. Like I can't have black pepper. Who knew that that was a thing? Black pepper. I can probably have white pepper, but I haven't really tried it. Um, and broccoli, cauliflower. Who has a sensitivity to that? I'm extremely sensitive to lettuce. And I used to always say how I hated lettuce. I do not like lettuce. Like I don't want to eat any lettuce. Lettuce is horrible. I just hated it. But I did not realize that I actually have a sensitivity to it, which was probably a main reason why I just did not like it. So I got some McDonald's burger patties one day and they put it on a bed of lettuce and I ate it and I had an eczema flare up, really bad eczema flare up. And I'm like, I am actually allergic to lettuce. Like, Who is allergic to lettuce? How many of us, are actually allergic to lettuce and don't even know it? Or some things that we think we just don't like, um, and we just have a sensitivity to it. We shouldn't be eating it anyway. And so I have no desire at all to bring back any vegetables into my diet. In fact, I'm kind of leaning towards going less vegetable than what I am right now, which means that I would go from seasoned salt to regular salt. Y'all watch me. Watch and see if it happens, because I really love my gold. I call that salt gold, that seasoned salt gold. It's so, so good. But I'm like, if I'm feeling this good now, if I take that out, how much better can I feel? And so that is the question that I have in the back of my mind, is like, is it possible that I could feel even better than what I feel like today? So, if you guys have any questions about carnivore, about getting started on carnivore, about my journey, feel free to drop those questions in the chat. I'm going to answer a couple of questions that I have here, but I want to just say hey to Keto Queenin with Netta. Hi, Netta. Congratulations on your 2-year carniversary. Thank you very much. I'll be happy when I make 2 years. I went carnivore almost 2 months ago. Congratulations. Good for you. Oh man, that's incredible. It started BBBE a week and a half ago. My blood sugars are improving. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So I know that sometimes it takes a while for those blood sugars to normalize. Particularly if you're very, very insulin resistant, or like a type 2 diabetic, something like that. It could take a long time for the insulin to normalize. And as long as you have high insulin, you're not going to be in ketosis. So you want to continue to keep your carbs low as possible, and allow those blood sugars a chance to normalize. Sometimes they normalize really fast. I've heard of people getting off their medications in like weeks, but some do take a lot longer. So that's great that your blood sugars are improving. I'm really, really happy to hear that. Welcome to the carnivore community, Queen. And yes, I'm so happy for you. So, how do you start the right way? Eat meat. Yep, that's what you want to do. You want to eliminate all of the plant foods. You want to eliminate processed foods, and eat meat. So a lot of people will start with a BBB&E, which is beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And that is a very simple way to start. You can start with, just eating all the meats. If you can eat the meat that you can afford. So if you can afford hot dogs and bologna, eat hot dogs and bologna. It's better than the processed food. Stay out of the middle of the grocery store. In fact, when you're on carnivore, you just go to the meat section, you pick up your meat, and you're out the door. And it is so simple to shop when you are on carnivore. Look for sales is one thing that I would say, because as we know, prices are going up and everything is more expensive, including meat. A lot of people will say, well, I can't afford to eat carnivore. If you take away all that other stuff that you're buying, you can definitely do it. And then watch for the sales and catch those meats when they're on sale. So you're going to eat meat, and you're going to remove and eliminate anything that's plant-based, as well as try to get rid of the seed oils. Like, that's something that everybody should do immediately, is to get rid of seed oils and use natural fat. So when I say natural fat, things like butter, ghee, beef tallow, which is rendered beef fat, lard. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Don't be scared. Yes, lard. It's pork fat. If you are a person who can tolerate or doesn't have a religious opposition to eating pork, then yes, you can have pork fat. You can use bacon grease to cook with. So if I'm deep frying something, So I cook a lot of bacon, and I have a whole lot of bacon grease. So if I'm deep frying something, I'm going to be deep frying it either in beef tallow, or I'm going to be deep frying it in bacon grease. So, and you can clean your bacon grease if you want to get some of that smell and taste out of it. You can clean it. I have a video up on my channel for how to clean and use a water method to purify your bacon grease and make it into lard. And so, yeah, yes, you want to use those meat-based fats, not a plant-based fat. Those oils were never meant to be consumed by humans. And so what they're doing is so much damage inside of the body at the cellular level and at your mitochondria level. So you definitely do not want to be using seed oils. In fact, when I first started carnivore, I had a bottle of, I think it was canola oil, a big bottle of it, because we like to fry chicken. And so I felt so guilty. I just had to throw that thing in the trash because I was like, I can't I can't use this to cook for my family. Like, knowing that it's toxic, I would never do that to them. So that is something that I ended up having to throw away. What do you drink on carnivore? So drink water. A lot of carnivores do drink coffee, even though that is comes from a seed. And so it's up to you whether or not you want to do that. Some people do drink tea, but water and sparkling water are probably your best bet. And then, of course, you can add some electrolytes to that if you need to balance your electrolytes out. If you're feeling sick, like fluish, like I'm just feeling a little under the weather on your carnivore diet, go ahead and take some electrolytes and balance those electrolytes out, and you'll probably feel a lot better. Do you need supplements? I don't think you need supplements, actually, except for perhaps electrolytes, only if you need them. I use electrolytes because I do get some muscle cramping and things like that, leg cramps, Charlie horses, if you will. And so I do get that sometimes. And so I do use electrolytes, and I use electrolytes every single day. And it does help with leg cramps. And so, socially, I eat what I eat. Everybody around me now knows that I eat meat. In fact, I went to an event yesterday and they had bacon at the event. And I was like, well, thank you. Thank you for thinking of me, because I knew that, they may not have had that if they didn't know that I was a carnivore. So everybody in my life knows that I'm a carnivore now. And a lot of times they'll have questions about it. Some people are like, oh, yeah, I need to try that carnivore thing. And I'm like, yes, you do. You definitely do. You should. And so Simpson is saying, I had some umami on my eggs this morning. So yummy. But perhaps should be looking at the seasonings more to button things up. So I've never heard of umami. It must be a spice. That sounds amazing, because umami is a very, it's a nice type of a vibe. So interesting. But yes, what I think is, as I said, like, as we're going along, continue to refine and see what it is that works for you. And so I know that I can have this Redmond real salt, seasoned salt, but I don't know if I could be even better if I don't have it. And so that is something that I want to find out eventually. And so watch for it, because I'm sure I'll be cutting it out at some point. So I'm going to wrap it up because we've been on here for an hour already. And so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Again, I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you guys that is part of my CarnivorousGrama community. Certainly, if you want to join one of my membership groups, you can do that. There's a couple of groups. We have a Marco Polo group. We also have a free Facebook group for the ladies. It's called Hey Sister Girl. And so you can find us on Facebook at Hey Sister Girl. And, we would love to have you over there. and just provide that community of support is what we're really trying to do over there, is make sure that we are supporting each other and answering your questions and all of those kinds of things. So thanks everybody. We don't have no questions in the chat, so I'm gonna let y'all go. I will see you guys. Hopefully we'll see you Monday night for Hey Sister Girl. Let me tell you about what we're going to be doing on Hey Sister Girl. On Monday night, we are going to be reading letters to our former self. So I'm really excited and interested to see what we're going to have to say. I also want to mention to you that I'm going to be in Memphis, Tennessee for oh my gosh. I'll post it on my Facebook, on my channel. I'll put a post up there about it. Well-informed women win. I don't know why I can never remember that. Well-informed women win. It is going to be in Memphis, Tennessee, March 22nd. So if you're in that area and would love to come and hang out, I would love to see you guys. And so I'll make sure that that post is up on my community tab on YouTube. All right, you guys, I will see you around. I hope everybody has a great night. Thanks for being here. Bye.